Evening, everyone. Thank you guys for having me. I'm so honored to be in this space with you all today. So I am Executive Director of City of Dreams. We are a mentoring program in the Bayview, and we help youth discover their potential. We take them on field trips, from surfing to seeing overnight snow trips, museums, really anything you can think of, because we truly believe that every child deserves the experiences that create, the great things that we're able to do as adults. I didn't mention that all of our youth actually are living in public housing. So these opportunities don't come easy. And it's kind of funny, I find myself experiencing new things with them too. So being able to just see their light in their eyes, their smiles when they're experiencing these new things, and watch the behaviors that they learn with us. It's just really amazing thing. So we do group and one-on-one mentoring. So please, if you're interested, we always are in need of more mentors. And I promise you, you have it in you. I know a lot of us feel like, what do I have to offer? But I hear this from every single mentor, that they go into it not knowing what to do, but learning more and getting more from the experience. I say, well, do you think your mentee learned anything? And they're like, I hope so, but I feel different. I grew. And again, I see it in the youth every day. So we have a garden, which is a beautiful space for our kids to learn how to grow food from seed to harvest. We welcome volunteers there as well. And then we have a teen program. So all of our teens get to meet with a life coach and work one-on-one with them to really learn how to cope with the things that they're dealing with, how to understand the trauma. I mean, it becomes so normalized, seeing violence and drug abuse and death, that they don't even realize how it's impacting them. So they get to work through that, and it's such a beautiful thing. We have kids that are getting their 4.0s for the first time, going off to college, learning how to paint and become an apprentice. And it's just so amazing, changing one life at a time, and you can all definitely be a part of that. So we'll be talking about that more. I'm really honored to be here and talk about dreams, because that's what City Dreams is all about, is finding your dream and learning how to cultivate it. Even if you aren't ready to get involved, follow us on Instagram, on Facebook. Please keep up with what we're doing. Even just a share and a like really goes a long way. So, thank you all.
The Devil Dreams of Georgia. What an afternoon, I felt like dying. Devil pulled the clouds all down and sold our confused nation smog. For ransom, I saw you calculating the implications, that's where you got me. The devil is pure sugar, don't you know, and you're an officer of the dead sugar road. Fresh as a snake, big flat by the sun. Lightning bolts seared into the mud, shot through a tunnel in Sugarloaf Mountain, headed straight to Dead Sugar Prison. You could shut that fence and walls around me, but none of it goes down well here, so Day cranks its mandibles wider than the earth can stomach, so some of the sweet comes back up, so devil built a torture chamber with it, using one leg, a car, and asphalt, like an imagination box, a full-sized Kincaid replica. It spills out light, so sweet, so bright, so quiet. I try to open my mind wide, like the brilliant sky, like Allah split the moon from Muhammad, to let my imagination run free, just two halves reaching, no restrictions, no laws, where night sails in between. I set my intention there, between gauzy planets as your knee chokes down. No air needed for me. Yet I notice a balloon goes far in bright heavens. Fall into the devil's street, I smile. Yes, please, I smile while I slide a hand all brown and noonday shopping inside star layers like a warm, dry fish reaching for moonbeams at the bottom of a grass forest. Near the end of the aisle, as I tap out, people built a memorial to the soul of this day. I kept adding to it. Your herd control took it apart just as quickly, bending crystal houses on their side by Dead Snake Road, Dead Sugar Prison. Hey, that mix makes a nice poison, but I was always alive at the discount store. Snap a photo quick, 'cause now I'm gone. But when my eyes close, you're finished, and walk away.
I appreciate y'all giving me love with that answer. You know, as I was driving here, I was like, damn, maybe it should have been longer. I guess, you know, I think just what's happened over the last, 3 years, I thought I had a good sense of what it was, what the American dream meant to me, but it's kind of in flux now, you know. It's a good question. I'm going to continue to think through it in terms of, you know, what kind of dream is possible where it's not at somebody else's expense, you know. I'm going to read about 4 poems from my new book, The Move. This one's called Dreaming Hours. This is no time to worry about nothing. Now's the dreaming hour. And sure, they say we poor, but I keep that lamp on in the hall, crack your door. So go on, let big bad light bill soar high as it wants to fly. If we can always go, shoot old crow down from open window with this here bow, 'cause neighbor lady with ornery dog still owes me that spare arrow she borrowed for something she won't tell, so I don't know. So leave that sorrow for sunny morrow, 'cause no. This is no time to worry about nothing, for now's the dreaming hour. And if you want that cup, cool water, I'll fill it, and if the night isn't quiet enough, I'll hush it, and if that shadow grips your wrist, I'll expose it, and whatever you got that you just can't drop, well then home, they stole it. So free your tired child mind, 'cause no, this is no time to worry about nothing, for now's the dreaming hour, and dreams need sleep like fish need sea, and if you want a big fish, then you gotta go deep, but not too far, 'cause farther we go, harder it be to breathe. And when you finally do rise, it'll be the pure sunshine, light blue sky, polyester suit, clip-on tie, but eggs and grits first, 'cause it's another Sunday morning, so you know we're going to church. And I got just enough bus fare to get us there, and we'll say prayers for merciful return, and so no. This is no time to worry about nothing, for now's the dreaming hour. And when they come, they go blind, but you see how life wasn't real when you woke, or honest if you're conscious, but we're not ripe for a chat like that, 'cause no.
Started clapping for myself. I haven't been around this many people, not on a screen in 2 years. So I'm going to be incredibly awkward, so I appreciate you all for just bearing with me. And awesome to be around so many dope poets. Thank you, Kevin, for throwing all this together in the living room. And yeah, all right. This is called khara, which is Arabic for shit. I read about some of the museums in France. About the stolen artifacts displayed in France, a strained cultural exchange of speaking, of art, one that remains a verse of echo, just of France. My mother was young when they taught her the language. Like imprints filling in the creases, throating France, a shade of tongue marks becomes something of status. Something of luck drawing sludge for a trace of France. Nile bones in parks freckled across museums, just like other Europeans, just like France. Stories of the French shooting the nose off the Sphinx. Erasure, if not a gesture, spelling France. I spent nights in liquor stores talking with Arabs, trying to tighten my tongue between blunts, between France. I learned to love myself in these liquor stores. I learned that I was worth loving in these liquor stores. Whiskey became a lone connection to home, Sheldon repeat, swallowing stiff in liquor stores. Drunk driving at one eye open was at 17. The dry bleat passing, hey mister, at liquor stores. I tried to tighten my tongue between blunts and swigs, palate pricking balm, communion like liquor stores. Sometimes I'm sober. The void of identity, a tendency to pull, to clog, to liquor stores. Entry layered like lacquer on plastic pigments. Plastic bottles, plastic blunt wraps in liquor stores. I learned to love our letters here. The turns of sound, the closest I came to Egypt was liquor stores. Broken cot twigs cleaved between cheeks in liquor stores. Temptations held St. Antony like liquor stores. So that was an Arab form called the ghazal. If you had a white teacher, they told you it was guzzle. And every couplet ends in a location.
This is called Walang Himala, which means there are no miracles. And it's a true story, which is also a myth. In Agoo, La Union, Judiel was the seventh born, a son who became, or was all along, a daughter. It was ruled that Judiel had a statue of the Virgin run through with a thin plastic tube, so that it would weep blood. But the tubes were not revealed until much later, long after upwards of 1 million people had witnessed the miracle that the teenager had promised. It is said that Judiel could detect a non-believer even from a great distance. Staples of the genre of Marian apparition include a dancing sun, a statue of the Blessed Mother weeping blood, an apparition of the Virgin with an oval frame atop a tree. In this case and on this island, it was a guava tree. My mother's mother spoke to her over the crackling, long-distance line about the mobs that had descended on the quiet province to see its miracle. Hundreds, including government men and bishops, reported seeing the sun dance in the sky, telling of how it became dislodged from its steady route to shake on the horizon. My mother's sister had gone, but admitted to seeing nothing. This was the latest of thousands of apparitions recorded on the archipelago. Our Lady of Kaisase was the first, caught in a fisherman's net in 1603, having taken the form of a statue carved from wood, no larger than a hand. The statue was restless, frequently escaping from the tabernacle where she was kept to return repeatedly to the spot on the river where she was first found. Her miracles included turning water into water. Another trope of apparition, blood in the palms, on the feet, from the wound in the side. In this case, it went differently. Judiel was photographed with blood in the mouth, a raw chunk of flesh on the tongue that moments before had been the dry wafer of the Eucharist. This is one of the 3 miracles that the Virgin had foretold. In 1993, 5 years after Judiel's first guava tree visions, a theological commission, including government men and bishops, announced that the events surrounding Judiel were not supernatural. Judiel was the 7th born, a son who became and was always a daughter. Very kind of you to clap what I find in my other poems. That is a true story. You can look it up. Judiel goes by Angel de la Vega now, and she's an actress in the movie.
A poem about climate change. Our last fight, both of us fucked on acid and the bathroom fan. Madness. Someone outside screaming, do you even know where we are right now? De-escalation is a handy trait, but how could you say I love you and mean it? The moment has passed, anyway, you see it now. Don't you love we're history? We did this to ourselves. We saw this coming, the old wives' tale, repeated adage, our mothers unresolved and jumped regardless. The plumage, the flume, this furnace, these feathers, how cliche. Please don't leave that part out. We were doomed from the start. Disrupted weather patterns, this whole clusterfuck, hey future dweller. nostalgic robot. This body, this world, this whole thing is a trap. Nothing thrives here. Don't bother. Thanks.